All right, it's already week 10 of the NFL season, past the halfway mark, but I'm going through, I'm picking all 14 games on the slate this weekend against the spread. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right on into it with our first game on Thursday. Okay, the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Denver Broncos. Broncos laying 9.5 points here at home. And you know what? Denver's kind of been a weird team this year. They're 7-2. They look terrible for 3 quarters, especially on offense. And then they bounce back and they put bell to ass and they win the game. Raiders, on the other hand, have been an absolute dumpster fire without Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers comes back last week. They look so much better on offense. Defense still isn't very good, but a hat trick for him. They should have tied that game against the Jags. They went for 2. They didn't get it. It's a bummer here. I just think this is way too big of a number. It's a division game. It's an interdivision game. I'm going to take the 9.5 points here with the Raiders. I do think the Broncos win this game. I think they win this game relatively comfortably, but I think 9.5 is just a little bit too big of a number here in Thursday night. So give me the Raiders plus 9.5. All right, we're heading on over to Berlin. We have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Atlanta Falcons from Olympic Stadium in Berlin, Germany. Always weird to deal with international games. Colts coming off of a brutal loss to the Steelers, turned the ball over a billion times, still only lose by 7. Falcons miss an extra point, lose the game against the Patriots. Could have easily tied the game there. And I thought the Falcons looked better last week, but we know the deal with the Falcons. They're hot, they're cold, they're up, they're down, they're left, they're right. Whenever you think you know the Falcons, you don't know the Falcons. I do think this Colts team is still solid. They got to be juiced up, getting Sauce Gardner. Probably going to play this week. Desperate addition to their secondary. The big thing is here, the Falcons' run defense really isn't that good. The Colts couldn't run the ball much against Pittsburgh. I think they get back to their roots, get back on the ground here. Do get a little scared against Daniel Jones outdoors, can struggle. But also the Falcons outdoors, another team that can struggle. It's going to be cold and rainy. Both teams are going to run the football. Colts can stop the run better than Atlanta can, and the Colts can run the ball just as effectively. So give me the Colts minus 5.5 here from Berlin. All right, the Chicago Bears hosting the New York Football Giants, laying 3.5 points here at home. And look, this Bears team is 5-3. This is not a very good football team, in my opinion. I might be a little bit biased, but still, they should have lost that game to the Bengals. They should have lost the game to the Commanders. They should have lost the game to the Raiders. This team is living on the edge. Their defense forces turnovers. That's where they've seen their success. This was really the first game we've seen offensively where they look competent, but it was against the freaking Bengals, okay? Chicago, calm down a little bit. Their offense, honestly, Caleb has not been very good this year overall, but the run game has been very good with Chicago. Kyle Monangai, the rookie out of Rutgers, getting more involved in the run game. He has a very big game against Cincy. DeAndre Swift should be back out there. He's been running effectively before sitting out with the injury. Giants can't stop the run. Bad run defense in New York. So give me the Bears minus 3.5 here at home. Do like some Jackson Dart action here, but it's just too much, small spread. Bears win this game by like 4, win this game by 7 over here. The Giants just are completely undermanned against a Bears team that has completely changed the vibes. Maybe not be the best team in the world, but I will have to admit the vibes are immaculate in Chicago. All right, the Buffalo Bills heading to South Beach to take on the Miami Dolphins. Probably not the worst time of the year to be heading to Miami. It's probably nice out there in November. Look, Dolphins had 10 days off. They're going to be well rested. They fire their GM, probably helps things. They're keeping head coach DJ Mikey Mike over there, but this still is not a very good team. Tua, not great. I know you probably saw the lip reading thing with Tua, the fans asking if Tua's special needs or something. Kind of hilarious over there. And Buffalo's coming off of a huge win against Kansas City. A statement game for the Bills. 8.5 is a big freaking number though. So I'm taking the Bills. Bills blow out the Dolphins this week. They're not going to let this one slip away. Division opponent, games usually close. I think the Bills are just too motivated, running the football up and down. They take care of business, win this game by 10+. Give me Buffalo in a nice, comfortable, dominant victory. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens traveling to my Minnesota Vikings. Both teams finally starting to get healthy over here. Both teams coming off of wins that they desperately needed. Ravens at 3-5, Vikings at 4-4. Both trying to make their way back into the playoff hunt. Vikings huge road win at the Lions. JJ McCarthy back. Looked good, not great, didn't light it up, but he just wins football games so far. Right now, the big thing is the Vikings defense was finally completely healthy, and they were great against the Lions. They had a fantastic game plan against a statue quarterback. Problem is, Lamar Jackson is the opposite of a statue. Action Jackson back in action, and he's been cooking, and we know he can run around. Vikings and Flores defense can struggle with mobile quarterbacks. Ravens defense is healthier. Some injuries still in the backfield. I think Aaron Jones probably not going to play in this game. The Vikings looked a lot better with him and Mason both running the football. I'm going to take the Ravens -4.5 here. I think this is a close game. I think the Ravens maybe win this game by 6. Maybe a late turnover by the young quarterback seals their fate. Give me the Ravens -4.5 against the Vikings. Now, this is what we live for, ladies and gentlemen. The Jets hosting the Cleveland Browns, two of the worst teams in the NFL, but the Jets are at least heading in the right direction. They traded away all their good players, basically, to get some real draft capital. The Cleveland Browns did nothing. They were both on a bye. Justin Fields looked good his previous game. He's going to start again, but he did get benched. Everyone forgets he got benched because, life and memory is short in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel's still at quarterback. Not great. Not even good. Shador's not good either, but you probably should play him. Thing is, Browns getting 2.5 points here. The Browns defense is good. They don't travel really well, but their defense is good enough. I think it's going to be an ugly, sloppy game. Jets probably turn it over like 3 times. Give me the Browns getting 2.5 points. I just like taking points here between two bad teams. All right, this is a fun one here. The New England Patriots traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a bye. Still not getting a whole lot healthier. Not looking like we're going to see Chris Godwin or Bucky Irving at the time of recording. Things could change, but it doesn't really matter. You can't run on the Patriots. This is the best run defense in the NFL right now. I would like to see Chris Godwin back out there because the Buccaneers can sling the rock. They are getting some help to the offensive line. That is a plus. However, it's still a little bit of a work in progress. I did like that what I saw, that you can throw the ball against this Patriots defense. Christian Gonzalez had his worst game, it felt like, in maybe ever against Drake London last week. Patriots are finally due for a loss here. Weird schedule. The question is, how close do they keep it? I'm going to take the Buccaneers as a little bit more experienced veteran team. Drake May also been taking way too many hits lately, taking a lot of sacks. Their offensive line getting a little shaky out there. Keyshawn Boutte may play, may not play. So I think this is a good spot for the Patriots to slip up at a conference game on the road against a good team. 7-2 is awesome. I just kind of feel weird if the Patriots are winning like 13 games this year. So give me the Buccaneers -2.5 in week 10. All right, the Carolina Panthers, the 5-4 Carolina Panthers, hosting the New Orleans Saints, laying 5.5 points here. And you know what? The Panthers are just a good, feisty team at home. And Tyler Shuck ain't it, my guys. He was pretty bad against the Los Angeles Rams. And Carolina's defense actually has not been bad this year. They force teams to go on long drives. They don't give up the big explosive plays like they have in the past, which is really kind of helping things slow down a bit. The offense isn't explosive, but they just kind of love Bryce Young, and they win games when he's in there at quarterback. Tries to cut down on the turnovers. Rico Dowdle has been awesome this year. Now officially the starting running back. Give me the Panthers -5.5 here. Now, it is a very predictable letdown spot, but the Saints outdoors, not usually a good thing. Give me the Panthers laying the points. All right, the Houston Texans hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars survive in overtime to get the win. Houston blows the game against the Broncos. And are we 100% sure how good of a head coach DeMeco Ryans is? Some very questionable game managing stuff with the Texans out there. But Davis Mills in at quarterback. CJ has already been ruled out. This defense is elite for the Houston Texans. I don't like them laying 1.5 here. I think maybe if the Texans are going to win this game, it's going to be by a point. I don't think the Jaguars are very good, especially on offense. They're not only hurt, they're just so inconsistent. Trevor Lawrence is not good, man. It's sad. He's just so inaccurate. He turns the ball over way too much. Jaguars defense is all right. It's more than good enough to stop a Davis Mills-led offense here. So give me the Jaguars +1.5 points on the road. All right, the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Arizona Cardinals. These teams already met once this year on a Thursday night, came down to the wire. But Jacoby Brissett officially in at starting quarterback. Kyler Murray heading to the IR, and it ends with a whimper in the desert for the little man out there. And I like what I've seen from this Cardinals offense with Brissett. They've been able to move the football up and down the field. The defense has been solid. They didn't blow a lead again. Problem is, the Seahawks are playing elite football right now. Sam Darnold has been so much better than he was last year with the Vikings. Now, this is a team that cosplays like they can run the football. They just sling the rock out of 2 tight end sets, and it's screwing up everybody. This team can't run. They're horrible at running the ball over here. They make a huge trade for Rashid Shaheed. I think that's a massive addition to help stretch the field. JSN's going to start getting those double teams and getting the respect he deserves out there. Defense is great. I think the Seahawks win this game comfortably at home. 6.5, no problem here for Seattle. Okay, one of the best games of the weekend, the 49ers hosting the LA Rams. We still don't know what the injury status is. Quarterback-wise, is it Mac Jones? Is it Brock Purdy? If it even is Brock Purdy, is it better than Mac Jones has been this year coming off of injury? I don't know, man. I don't know. Chris McCaffrey's been awesome. Please keep my man intact. Everybody is injured on this 49ers defense. This is a must-win game for the Rams. Niners already caught them on Thursday night, and Kyle Shanahan kind of owns Sean McVay. It's an actual thing. It's a real thing here. But the Rams are playing great football. Looked great against the Saints coming off the bye. Stafford's playing at an elite level. We get both the wide receivers back. Puka picks up another injury. He should be okay, though, to play this week. Get the running backs more involved here. 3.5 is a very small number. I'm okay with swallowing these points on the road here. I think the Rams are just in a much more desperate spot. They can't afford to lose this game. If they lose this game, they are out of the tiebreakers with San Francisco, which is not where you want to be in week 10 of the season. Both teams fighting for the division and a playoff spot. Give me the Rams in a squeaker in a fun, ugly, gritty, old school kind of football game. Okay, the Detroit Lions traveling to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders and pour one out for the homie Jaden Daniels. His elbow is no longer intact. That was gross, but it was leasing on his non-throwing arm. Best season kind of ending injury you could get for a little frail quarterback who runs like that. However, the Lions did just lose at home to the Vikings. This is going to be a bloodbath. This Commanders defense is horrible. They can't stop anybody. I haven't hated what the offense looked like with Marcus Mariota. This line is 8.5. It could be 18.5. I'm taking the Lions. They're going to put belt to ass. They have to put belt to ass. The division is tightening up, and they aren't going to lay 2 duds in a row. I just trust Dan Campbell way too much as a head coach. And the Commanders have kind of waved the white flag. Their season is over. And they may be pissed at Dan Quinn for keeping Jaden Daniels out there, even though the numbers say nobody else pulls their quarterback in that situation either. So give me the Lions in a beat-down ass beating against the Commanders. All right, Sunday night football. The Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going to be about 90% Steelers fans because the Steelers fans are just popping out of the woodwork like mold or something over here. They're getting 3.5 points here. I don't love the Steelers team at all. I've been down on them all year. It's kind of whatever. The offense has gotten a little better. Their defense is still atrocious. 2 of their wins, they forced 11 turnovers. That's not normal, guys. That's not normal. Okay, I can't expect that. Now, I do worry about the Chargers offensive line losing Joe Alt for the season after already losing Rashawn Slater. You're missing your 2 all-pro tackles. It's very tough out there. You can throw the football on the Steelers. Chargers haven't been running really effectively the last few weeks with them. They need to get Amari on Hampton back. He's not going to be coming back, it sounds like, anytime soon from the IR. So I do like the Chargers to win this game. I think Herbert's been playing at an elite level, and the secondary is really bad, and they stretch the field. They're good on dink and dunk stuff. You can throw downfield on this Pittsburgh team all day. But I'm going to take the points here. This feels like a Chargers last-second field goal. Give me Cameron Dicker, the kicker, to get the win. Steelers cover the 3.5. Chargers get the dub. All right, and finally, Monday Night Football, and a kind of a must-win for both of these teams if they want to win the NFC, get that 1 seed. The Eagles are going to win that division now with the injury to Washington and the Cowboys just being the freaking Cowboys. Green Bay, though, coming off of a home loss against the Panthers. Devastating. Laying 2.5 here. Eagles coming off a bye, which is very interesting. This Packers offense is bad, guys. It is not good. Jordan Love is just a very mediocre NFL quarterback. I've been saying it all year. I said it last year. It's just not there. I feel zero juice from this team. The pass rush is excellent, but the Eagles can kind of counteract that pass rush. Really tough to run against Green Bay. They were the best run defense in football till Rico Dowdle kind of gashed them. You can throw on the Packers, though. Eagles, on the other hand, it's all disjointed. They can't run the football. It's weird. It's whatever. A.J. Brown wants to get traded, not going to get traded. It's kind of stupid. They don't throw the ball. I think the biggest difference is here, the Eagles are going to be able to neutralize this Packers defense a little bit. I don't know how the Packers do anything on offense because they just kind of suck. As bad as the Eagles defense has been in the secondary, I just don't know, man. I'm going to take the points with the Eagles. I think the Eagles actually win this game as well, and it's all hands on deck in Green Bay in an ever-tightening NFC North. All right, to recap my picks for Week 10, I got the Raiders plus 9.5 at the Broncos. Give me the Colts minus 5.5 in Berlin against the Falcons. Bears minus 3.5 against the Giants. Bills minus 8.5 at the Dolphins. Ravens minus 4.5 at the Vikings. Browns plus 2.5 against the Jets. Buccaneers minus 2.5 against the Patriots. Panthers minus 5.5 against the Saints. Jaguars plus 1.5 at the Texans. Seahawks minus 6.5 against the Cardinals. Rams minus 3.5 at the 49ers. Lions minus 8.5 against the Commanders. Steelers plus 3.5 at the Chargers. I like the Chargers to win that game. And give me the Eagles plus 2.5 at the Packers. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got all the daily sports content you could ever want. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks, things you use for the live streams throughout the season. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Check out the links down below. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.